nothing is static or permanent. Life is a continuous flow of interconnected moments. The nature of each moment is determined by what has gone before, just as one's next birth is determined by one's actions during this lifetime. So we can say that life and death are actually both taking place at every instant. The word bardo means an intermediate state, a gap or period of suspension when one situation has come to an end and another has not yet developed. It occurs in the interval between two states of mind as well as between states of existence, such as birth and death. Any everyday situation of hesitation or uncertainty or of inner conflict between opposing emotions contains characteristics of the intermediate state. So do those extremes of emotion when one is on the edge of complete exhaustion or feels one is approaching the borderline of insanity. At such moments of concentrated energy, one may suddenly enter a neutral state in which one feels completely free, calm, and detached. This is an intuitive glimpse of the ground of being, the nature of mind itself. It is called dharmata, the essence of things as they really are. It is described as indivisible emptiness and luminosity. Just before death, a dying person's consciousness becomes progressively more and more detached from the external world and from the body, until it is completely concentrated within, and there is an experience of a sense of internal glow or luminosity. This is called the bardo of the moment before death. After death, the consciousness is freed from the limitations of the physical body and is able to perceive a subtle level of existence where everything manifests as sounds and colors instead of solid material forms. Underlying all these appearances is a luminosity, a light of reality, and if one can recognize that and merge with it, one reaches the absolute level of dharmakaya. If one is unable to let go into that state, visions of the Buddhas and other divine beings appear, first in peaceful forms and then in wrathful forms, offering many different approaches to enlightenment. At the same time, our memories of the ordinary world of suffering, or samsara, also beckon us, appearing as paths of colored light leading us to future rebirth in one of the 6 realms of existence. Next come terrifying experiences of judgment by Mara, Lord of Death, and the pursuit and torture by avenging demons. The fundamental teaching of the whole text is to recognize that these visions are the projections of one's own mind. As soon as one realizes this, one is liberated from the visions. Finally, if one has been unable to recognize this, one enters the bardo of becoming, the transition to a future birth in one of the 6 realms. Even at this point, there are still opportunities to recognize the luminosity, because the focus of the mind is concentrated by intense fear. Instead of escaping into a new form of existence, the consciousness in the bardo can stop and confront this fear, and so attain liberation from it. If this fails, the text gives instructions on choosing a new birth that will be of benefit to oneself and others. All these situations described in the Tibetan Book of the Dead can be seen as symbolic or visionary pictures of events and experiences in human life. For instance, even at the last minute, there is always the possibility of refusing to give in to anger or passion, refusing to be caught up in that world, and preventing the birth of some seemingly inevitable situation. The 6 realms of existence represent both the various states of mind into which our consciousness is continually reborn and different ways of experiencing the world. They arise from the instinctive emotional reactions to the openness and brilliance of luminosity. The realm of hell, the lowest of the 6 realms, is the most intense, dominated by aggression, hatred, and anger. Hell can be burning hot, an environment of claustrophobic terror, or icy cold, a frozen isolation that results from pride and resentment towards others. The realm of hungry ghosts develops from greed, a hunger that continually increases and can never be satisfied. Possession brings no pleasure to the hungry ghost, only searching and grasping matter, so there is a sense of endless frustration and disappointment, even though one is surrounded by food and wealth. The animal realm arises from ignorance. It is a deliberate turning away playing deaf and dumb so as to avoid the brilliant light of reality. It can create a comfortable, predictable way of life, but one that is also very mechanical and without any sense of humor, unable to respond to the unexpected or the unknown. The human realm is based on passion and enjoyment. It contains qualities of exploration, striving, and creativity that may lead to success and fulfillment, but also suspicion and doubt that continually undermine the sense of achievement. The realm of the jealous gods is based on a fundamental sense of jealousy or envy, as though the very existence of others is a threat to one's own survival. Here, no relationship is possible without intrigue. One must always be on one's guard against hidden enemies and on the watch for opportunities to win, either by diplomacy or superior strength. The realm of gods develops from pride and instinctive self-consciousness, which arises when faced with the impersonal openness of the luminosity. It is the highest realm of self-development, pleasure, and peace, with the feeling that one is invincible and immortal. We can easily recognize in these 6 realms the familiar psychological states of daily life, but at the same time, we always possess within us inherent Buddha nature, the latent possibility of enlightenment, which appears as aspects of wisdom or enlightenment corresponding to our particular tendencies. In the intermediate state, they manifest as the 5 Tathagatas, or Buddhas, inviting us to dissolve into the rays of light that stream out from their hearts. The 5 wisdoms are the liberated energy of enlightenment, but in samsara, they are distorted into the 5 negative emotions, or poisons. They are also known as the 5 families, to which all living things belong. The first of the Tathagatas in the center of the mandala is Varochana, and his family is known simply as the Tathagata of Buddha family. It is associated with the basic poison of confusion, or ignorance, which it deliberately ignores, and out of which all the other poisons evolve. But Varochana also embodies the wisdom of Dharmadhatu, a limitless, all-pervading space in which everything exists as it really is, a truth that reverses ignorance. The second Tathagata is Akshobhya, on the eastern side of the mandala. He is the ruler of the Vajra family, whose poison is aggression or hatred. This is transmuted into the mirror-like wisdom, which reflects everything calmly and clearly. In the southern side of the mandala is Ratna Sambhaha, ruler of the Ratna family. Ratna means jewel, and in particular the wish-granting gem which magically grants all desires. So here the poison is pride, resulting from the possession of spiritual or material riches. Its antidote and corresponding wisdom is the wisdom of equality and equanimity. In the west is Amitabha, whose family is Padma, the lotus. The poison of this family is desire or passion, grasping hungrily at everything. And its wisdom is the wisdom of discrimination, which provides the coolness and carefulness that allows for passion to be transformed into compassion. Lastly, in the north is Amoghasiddhi, ruler of the Karma family. Karma means action and is symbolized by a sword or double vajra. Envy is the poison associated with karma, arising from the insatiable ambition that drives this kind of activity, while its enlightened aspect is the wisdom that accomplishes all actions. The Tathagatas embody the transcendent qualities of enlightenment, their absolute existence. They are united with their consorts, the fertile feminine energy, which completes them and allows them to manifest. They are attended by male and female bodhisattvas, which represent the principle of active engagement for the sake of all beings. At first, these deities appear in peaceful form. They simply reveal the existence of enlightenment immovable and invincible, the beginningless and endless state of absolute peace. Such a pure and personal state may appear threatening as well as attractive, which leads us into the next vision, the Vidyadharas. The Vidyadharas are simply expressions of the same Buddha nature seen in a different light. They are the essence of communication, the divine form of the Tantric Guru, possessing power over the magical aspects of the universe. They combine elements of both the peaceful and wrathful deities. If we do not respond to the communication of the Vidyadharas, they become transformed into their wrathful manifestations, the Herukas. The basic qualities of the five families continue, but now their energy is expressed in a very dramatic and powerful way. This is the ruthless, unyielding quality of peacefulness, which does not allow any escape. Fundamentally, the quality of the five families is a peaceful state because it is completely stable and nothing can disturb it. The tremendous energy of that peaceful state now manifests itself as wrathful, is often described as compassionate anger, anger without hatred. These transformations, too, have counterparts in our own lives. As their active energy increases, not only do the possibilities for insight increase, but also the possibility of danger. For instance, psychic experiences and the awareness of the magic of life belong to the realm of the Vidyadharas, while the activity of the Herukas might be felt as an accident or a sudden shock that wakes one up to reality. After the Herukas, a whole crowd of other fierce and terrifying deities appears, each symbolizing a specific quality of enlightenment and carrying out a particular function of the individual consciousness. Again and again, we are reminded that these visions come from our mind, and we need only recognize them as our own projections in order to be liberated from them. In the text, it says that all this is meant to remind the dead person of what he has already practiced during his life. But we can still use the essential principles of the teaching to help those who are not familiar with it by opening our minds to them and transmitting our own sense of warmth, stability, and confidence. If one is close to someone who is dying, it is very important to be truthful about what is happening, so that there is complete mutual trust, friendship, and communication. As the person's physical and mental condition deteriorates, he or she develops a higher awareness of the surrounding emotional atmosphere, so that one's own state of mind is extremely important and becomes part of the dying person. It is impossible to know what someone in the intermediate state is going through, or whether you are still having any real contact with a person. But the essential thing is to continue to provide this stable environment so that automatically the consciousness in the bardo will be attracted to that. When one listens to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, although all the symbolic details are significant.
Alright, see what I do? Well, first off, blessings and light, rising and nine. I'm your boy Corey Drumz. Off. God's first thought that became another thought, that became another thought, that became another thought. The math that creates math to create math to create math that's made to create from the math. The all that is one, the one that is all. With all that said, see what I do is I study everything. There's no one thing that's right. Okay, let's get that started with that right there. There's no one knowledge that is correct. And basically all of the knowledges are telling you that. Everything has to work in coordination and cooperation with each other. Things explained and the attributes and the principles explained in the Tibetan Book of the Dead are attributes that we all have to live by and balance ourselves with, whether it's the envy side, whether it's the anger side, whether it's being too passive, whether it's being too ambitious, where at the sake of others, too prideful. You know, these are all things that we have to balance within ourselves. All of the attributes of the universe that we see right now are attributes that are natural. They're all different aspects of the singular thing. And it's up to us to learn how to balance them within ourselves. That's what I speak on when I'm speaking on the 1 through the 9, being the 9 as the whole and everything, because you can't get any higher than a 9. You know, 10 isn't higher than 9. 10 is actually a lower vibration of 9, because 9 is the whole. You can't go no higher digit than 9. So, you know, that's why I rock with the 9, 6, and the 3. But like I said, you won't have 9 without 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. But you can't have anything higher than or lower than. You know what I mean? It's like you got to have 9 for completion of a cycle. And that's the balance of things. So you can't just look at one aspect of, okay, like what do you call it? Segregation. We segregate. We're supposed to segregate. We're supposed to segregate our thoughts to balance them out. But when we got segregation and people only dealing with the segregated side of it, and that's overweighing anything else, then that becomes a problem. You know what I mean? It's not that any of these one things are a problem individually if they're working in coordination. It's that when you act on these things as a singular, that's where you got a problem. You know what I mean? Like, let's look at it this way. Black and white are two different ends of the spectrum, okay? Now you got black on one side, white on the other side, okay? Now if you're looking at it from this way, you're gonna see black. And then if you're looking at it on this side, this way, you're gonna see white, right? Now if all you're doing is seeing this here, right? You're missing everything in between it. You know what I mean? You're only seeing extremes of the spectrum. You know what I mean? Which is basically the canvas. That's the blindness. It's blinding you. Black and white are doing the same thing to you. You're not seeing the colors that are going to be within here, in between them. Okay? So if you're not looking at the colors that are in between it, if all you're doing is looking at the light from the outside, you're going to see the white or the black, depending on what side you're on. Okay? Let's look at it that way. Depending on what side you're on, you're going to see the white or the black. But until you step into the light, you see what you're going to see when you step in it? You're going to see everything in the spectrum. You can't have a rainbow without the whole spectrum. You can't have good without bad. You can't have 9 without 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You have to complete it. All right? And you have to practice it in every aspect of your life. Everybody is built on a certain energy. All right? So you might have people around you. And, you know, we always say this. They don't vibe with you all the time. Like, it's just something about them. The vibe ain't right. Well, it's not there's something wrong with them. Or that there's something wrong with you. It's that your vibration truly isn't right. You know what I mean? Your vibration might be a vibration of a 3. That might be your energy. And that person, yeah, you're trying to get to a 9. At the end of the day, we're all trying to get to 9. That's completion. You know what I mean? We have to find our own 9, though. Not my 9 isn't your 9. You know what I mean? Your 9 isn't somebody else's 9. Your completion of self has nothing to do with anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Your completion of self is about learning how to adjust yourself. Period. You create the world we live, that you live in, not that we live in, the world you live in. Choices, decisions, actions, the proper thoughts, the proper intentions. You know what I mean? It's really that simple. You know? I mean, at the end of the day, can you really sit there and be worried about what somebody else is doing? Why should you be? Or what somebody else feels or deems right for them? Why should you feel that way? You know? You have a choice. It's always ultimately up to you. You got to find your 9. And once you do, it's peaceful. It's a hard road, man. It's a hard road getting there. You know what I'm saying? It's lonely. You know what I mean? You find a lot of despair. You know what I mean? You're breaking yourself. You're destroying yourself. You have to. That old shell of what you thought was a complete really isn't. So in order to break free and find that completeness, you got to get rid of the walls that bind you to not find it. Because ultimately, it's about finding your 9. You know what I mean? I know it might seem a little bit over the head for some people. You know what I mean? Some people might say I'm bugging out. You know what I mean? But I'll be real with you. Again, like I said, it's not about trying to find validation in anything or anyone else. It's actually finding my own inner peace and self inner peace, and not even gratification, because that right there is prideful. I don't need to be gratified. You know, just be, and that is. I mean, when Musa went into the mountain and got those tablets, and the story says that he asked them, he asked creation, well, you want me to go back and tell everybody who you are, that you told me, right? So what am I supposed to call him? What name am I supposed to use? And creation said to him, first he said, well, if I told you my name, surely you're burning the fires, because you can't take that. What did that mean? Come on, man, there's no real name. I'm everything, man. If I put all of that in you, man, you couldn't take this. There is no name for it. Pretty much. So he asked me, well, why ain't you telling me ain't no name for it? Well, what I'm supposed to go tell these people, man? Like, how they gonna believe me? And creation looked at him and said, yo, what you mean? How they gonna believe me? Truth needs no validation. It just is. Just tell them I am, yo. You here looking at me like, what you mean? I'm right here. Why do you need a name? Do you need to validate that you're not here talking to me? Go tell them what I just told you. Now that's what that story says. You know what I mean? Everything. All. 1 through 9. 0 doesn't exist. 0's a void that between. It's pretty much the apex in either direction. This is what 0 is. 0 point is the apex in any direction of the circle or the sphere. It's the apex of the circle where it spins back around to the other direction, where it actually, so that's everywhere, right? 0 point could be anywhere on a circle, or a sphere, or a triangle, or a rectangle, or a square. It's just the intersecting where 9 and 1, it's the space between them again. You know what I mean? That's all. Separation. It's a separation point from 9 to 1 again. What is 10? Because it's just a 1 again. Get rid of the 0. 1. And then 11 is 2. Then 12 is 3. Then 13 is 4. Then 14 is 5. Because you got to add the 1 and the 5 or the 1 and the 1 to get a prime number. Anybody that does math, y'all know that. There's no such thing as any number past a 9. Any digit past a 9. And coincidentally, it takes 9 months for you to be born, right? In this realm, it takes 9 months, 9 cycles, 9 revolutions. The revolutions are what we call time. But time really doesn't exist. Because all you do is recreate yourself throughout it, at different points. Constant. It's just like the 0. It's all over the place. And it's always seeking its 9. That's the amazing part of it. Once you realize that, you know what I mean? Like once you realize those kind of things about existence and where we really at, the other things around you don't really even matter no more, you know? I mean, I know we're going through a hard time right now and everything, and, you know, I'm not going to be the one sitting here talking about kumbaya, just burn some incense and everything will be fine. Nah, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is your actions are what will determine what happens in your life. What the world around you what's going on in the world around you, that's the world around you. There's a lot of things that you have no control over. You may think you want to have control over, but you ain't got no control over these things. Why are you trying to control it? That's your ego. That's your God gene. You thinking you're more powerful. You can handle it. You can do that. It's my way. Now, only your circle, what you need for you. You know what I mean? That's your way. For you. Balance you. And those things around you. Find your nine. Show other people how to find their nines. Like I said, it's different for everybody else. Teach your kids about it. Look it up. I mean, real talk. Nikola Tesla was on it, 3 to 6 to the 9. You know what I mean? Vortex mathematics. But it's bigger than just one thing that you look at. You know what I mean? If you look into the biblical aspect of things, the Trinity, and all of that, that's the 3. That takes 3 things to make it 9. You know what I mean? It's the 666. 666 is 18, which is 1 and 9. 1 and 8 is 9. Like, there's a lot of these different symbolisms going on. 360 degrees, 3 plus 6, 9. You know what I mean? And 360 degrees is in everything that's, you know what I mean, in this 3 dimension. Feel me? Come on, man. Think about it. Just open up to it. It's right there. It's been right there. Nah. Know what I mean? It's just about the wholeness, the complete. You know what I mean? Looking at everything and appreciating everything for what it is. You know what I mean? Don't look at it as good or bad. Look at everything as learning experiences and reward for learning. You know what I mean? Once you're able to do that, man, anything in life that might have caused you any kind of emotional issues. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that went through hell in life, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them. And that's who I speak for. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't get on here looking for people to be, I'm not looking for people to be fans of mine and shit like that. That's just corny to me. You know what I mean? I'm in here doing this so that maybe my stories and maybe the things that I say, maybe the things I experience, maybe the things that I'm enlightened to, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe the things that I bring back from a mentee, maybe they can help y'all. You know? Wally helping me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be the example. I'm not here to, that's not even I want to be. That's just what I am. I'm just an example. I'm not no teacher. I'm not the great one and nothing like that. I'm thought. Yo, I'm the first thought. Y'all are thoughts too. I'm a thought that springboarded into a million thoughts, man. Billions and trillions and quadrillions and endless thought. We all are. But in order for us to reach our wholeness, we have to learn how to connect back to the source. And the source is everything. That's the 9. We'll never do it if all we looking at is the basic shit. I'm black, you white. You know what I mean? Not looking at the big spectrum and shit. Like, ain't no name for it. You know what I mean? Show me all the colors, yo. Because I wear them. I got crystals, man. I don't sit here discriminating between my onyx and my aquamarine. I don't sit here discriminating between my tiger's eye and my emerald or my ruby. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. Like, do we do that? Like, that's whack. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna tell your quartz that it's better than your onyx because it's white, it's clear. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything has beauty. Everything. Everything is beautiful. Even the chaos. Just step back from the picture and look at it different. And you'll see the beautiful patterns within all of that chaos. And then realize that the chaos has a purpose. The spiral of the 9. Right? That's how I see it. I'll let y'all see it y'all way. Because that's the way it's supposed to be. Y'all see it y'all way. How it works for you, where your 9 is at. How the equation fits your mathematics. Word. Again, I am your boy Corey Drumz. You know what I mean? Thank you for spending some time with me in my afternoon meditation, just chilling, learning session, you know, getting within myself. And make sure y'all pre-order my new single, Emeralds. The link is on my page. It's also, if y'all on my IG, I'm Corey Drumz on IG, Corey Drumz for real. That's COREYDRUMZ, the number 4, the word real, all in one word, on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah. And look out for my new album coming. You know, 9. Complete. The Finding. Love y'all, man. Blessings in light. Vibrate right. Rise with the 9, man. Till next time. Early.
Changing the equilibrium, gravity moves to pull you upside down, to put charge in your back battery. The tides move, I give the moon direction. The earth ain't flat, it's where you're disconnected. Cause lines only exist.